I'm Jason Akatiff. I own an affiliate network, CPA network in the CPA world called Ads for Dough, parent company Coleadium. I'll tell you a little bit about myself a little later, but I'd like to get started, and the purpose here today is to figure out how we can make more money on the same traffic that we've got coming in as affiliates. And I'd like to see, just so I have an understanding of my audience, how many of us in this room are actual like full-time affiliates? About half, 2/3. Advertisers, merchants, advertisers, okay? Emailers, you know, all that stuff. Anybody in here deal with data a lot? Yeah? Anybody? Yeah? Okay, good. So the point of my talk today, as I said, I do a lot in the CPA world. I've been in the CPA world a long time, and in the CPA world, there's been a shift recently where people, as affiliates, have actually stopped gathering data. I'm sure, well, people have actually stopped gathering data, and it's worth money, and what I'm trying to do here today is get people to realize that there's ways that we can use pre-sale pages, landing pages, stuff like that, before the offers that we can actually capture the data on that will actually make us quite a bit more money in the long run. So I did a sample. I did this on the plane here because I was busy, but it's potential gain in our campaign. So we've got 2 campaigns. Whether you like it or not, my world is BizOp, diet, all the nutraceutical, free trial type stuff. So I'm going to speak to that, but this, of course, can be taken to any other niche or vertical out there. But in our theoretical campaign, we've got 2 different campaigns. One is a straight jump page. So that's like an article page, an advertorial, a blog, a review site, whatever you want to call it, where the gross came out to $60. And campaign B, we gathered data on, and the gross came out to $212. Who wants to make $212 rather than $60, right? So let's tell you a little bit about me. We'll get into that next. Been an affiliate for 6.5 years. We're large media buyers. We do a ton of display buying. I know the CPA world inside and out. I started as a black hat SEO, basically built automated systems to rank sites in Google, and built 40, 50,000 sites a day at sometimes, all through automated coding and systems. Like I said, media buyer, we do a ton with PPC, PPV, display, all that kind of stuff. I own Ads for Dough. We're an advertiser as well. We're building offers in South America and building offers in Europe and also in the US. And then I also do quite a bit of brokering of data to different partners. Current pre-sale jump pages. I want to do something really quickly here. This is when I talk about a pre-sale advertorial jump page, just like an advertorial you might see in a magazine. Has everybody seen these kind of pages? We're not gathering any data, right? There's no data being gathered here. So let's talk about the current pre-sale jump pages. Positives. As affiliates, most affiliates I know are lazy. You can just go rip one from somebody and download it and put it up on your site, and it doesn't take any work. Proven, if it's running somewhere else, it's probably going to work. You don't have to be very creative on it. Negatives, don't capture any data. No long-term potential as far as your business. I get asked a lot, Jason, I want to be in this business. I realize the potential. I want to be in this business long term, and in order to do that, we need to build stability for ourselves as affiliates. Everybody knows you have the campaigns that go up, you make a ton of money, and then something happened, the campaign goes down, it all goes away, and then you're like, crap, what do I do now? And then you start hustling again, put another campaign together, and figuring out how to do it all. If we're gathering data, we're capturing data, and we're monetizing data, that really evens out the ebbs and flows, right? In the bad times, we still have all that data that we're monetizing that's coming in on a Revshare or what have you. Compliance, There's a lot of issues with compliance on the article and advertorial pre-sales. So some of the stuff we've been doing are more compliant, and we're gathering data as well, and it's working. So based on experience, lower overall net profit. So a lot of times as affiliates, especially newer affiliates, affiliates that haven't been around that long, and lazy affiliates, myself included, you know, it takes time to monetize data, right? If you build an email list, you actually have to email out to it. You've got to go find Revshare partners for phone numbers for call centers. You've got to find SMS partners for Revshare as well. So, I mean, you'll make more money over the long run. You might not make quite as much up front, or you might make more. It just depends on how you do it. So we looked at these. There's a couple of pre-sale pages that, you know, are pretty popular in the marketplace right now. So data capture style pre-sale, positives, long-term growth. You're building an asset when you're gathering data. Companies sell for, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars that have big databases, lots of data that can be monetized, mailed to, emailed. You know, there's massive, massive corporations built all around data gathering. Gives you stability. You have an asset to sell. As an affiliate, really all we are is we're an operation that is promoting campaigns, and we don't have anything to sell. There's no business to sell. Nobody's ever going to buy your affiliate business. So what gathering data and building your data business can do is give you an actual saleable asset as a business as a whole. There's really big companies that do this, like Frontline. I don't know if anybody's familiar with them. They do a lot of data gathering and monetization and all that kind of stuff. Allowed on more traffic sources. With the pre-sales we're using that's capturing the data, they are more liked by the different traffic sources. A lot of stuff as of recently has been banned from Yahoo, AdSonar, all the different media buy sources. So if you can come in with a newer type pre-sale where you're also gathering data, you're going to be allowed onto some sources that you might not be allowed on otherwise. Higher CTR potential, negatives, sometimes lower front-end conversions. So if you're asking for an email or a phone number or a name or any of that kind of stuff, and people have to fill in some fields, it oftentimes takes a little more, it takes your numbers down because you're actually asking for them to give some action. So on the front end, there is, you might get lower conversion, but there's ways around this, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit more work. Yeah, we talked about that. And you have to be creative. Affiliates are lazy, myself included. Here's a couple of campaigns. Let's talk about this here. Campaign A is going to be with the pre-sale. So we took a CPM of $1, had a CTR of 0.1 on our display ad. That means we're getting 1 click per 1,000. And I did everything based on 100 clicks. So that means we're paying $100 for our 100 clicks. The pre-sale CTR is 20%, so that means we're getting 20 clicks to our actual offer page. 10% conversion, let's assume. 2 sales. A sale at $30 a piece means that gives us our $60 figure there. Let's talk about campaign B, and this is where it kind of gets interesting. CPM $1, all that same stuff at the top. I put the 15% as far as the pre-sale goes. Like I said, you know, just because we're asking for data, that number is actually going to go down oftentimes. Clicks to the offer, 15. But guess what? Now we've got all that data, right? Even if they don't convert, we still have that data that we can make money on. Offer conversion rate 10%, sales, you know, 1.5% I put it, or 1.5 sales because of the lower clicks to the offer. And then we earned there, so we got our email data. I don't know what I did with that. Oh, that's that added up. We got our email data for those 15 records. What we often see is if you do a list right, and this is, I use this example out of BizOp because that's what we do a lot of. You'll see typically $1 the first month, about 50 cents the next 4 or 5 months, something like that. So you'll get a total of around $3 is what I figured in here. And you have 15 records times $3. I think that's right. Is that the right math? And then SMS data, there's Revshare partners out there that'll take SMS data, mobile numbers, send text messages, people, you know, agree to it in the terms and all that kind of stuff, and it's compliant. That typically is going to run 5 to 10 cents per phone number, and then put our phone data in there at $1 per record. You can give it to a call center. You know, that's cheap. A lot of times you can get $3, $4 per record to a call center that want to call on the data. So if we add all that up, we come up to $61.50 plus our original 45 plus is going to equal out to 106, which is half of what that original number I told you up there was. And I'll talk about how we're going to get to the bigger 200 number. How do we get to 213? Based on a higher CTR on our ads. So compliance-wise, if we are running a free trial offer, for example, you can't say free in your ad, right? Everybody knows that. Compliance-wise, AOL won't let you, Yahoo won't let you, etc. So what you can do, though, is if you send them to some sort of free report, some incentivizable type thing to get them to share their data with you, all of a sudden you can say free in the ads. And this is going to increase your click-through ratios on your ads quite a bit. I've seen it increase at least 2 times if you can get a big free on your display ads. And so that's where we go here. Down there we get twice as many clicks, so therefore we get to $212. What do we capture and what is it worth? It really depends on your vertical. You know, if you're doing freebie stuff, everybody's seen like email submits. Everybody's familiar with those. You know, that data's not worth much. You know, a couple cents a record is typically 25 cents a record or something like that over a 6-month lifespan. But if you get real good targeted data of people, you know, I'll use BizOp again, or diet, or whatever you want to run, games, you know, whatever. It all makes sense, and it just is really going to depend on the vertical and what the offers pay and whatnot. Depends on how it was captured. Was it incentivized to, you know, some kind of freebie, again, like a email submit or something like that? Was it incentivized to get some free info that they're actually interested in learning more about what's going on? They are incentivized to get a free report or incentivized to get something like that. That data is going to be a little more responsive and worth a little bit more. And then you have people that are solely trying to find out information, not trying to get anything. They're just interested in what your product or service is, and those people are going to be worth the most of everything. Depends on how fresh the data is. As data ages, it loses its value. Depends on what it's sent to. Again, that's vertical offer, all that kind of stuff. Depends on how good you are at writing creatives and binding creatives. You understand that. Price point guidelines, I talked about this a little bit, but we'll recap here. Email, 50 cents to $1.50 a record per month. Like I said, in the beginning, we typically see $1 month 1, if you do it right, per record, and then around 50 cents per record for the next 5 months. And then you'll have the trailing data it'll still bring in revenue, but you know, it's pretty burnout at that point, typically is what we find. SMS records are going to be worth anywhere from 5 to 10 cents. There's partners out there that'll send that stuff for you. Another thing on the email side is, you know, you can mail with an ESP yourself, and then you can also give your data to 1, 2, 3 different email partners that'll email your data for you and just cut you a check every month. We typically do both. We mail internally as well as give it to partners to mail as well. And don't, you know, as long as they don't beat up the data too much, they don't pound it too hard, then, you know, we're in pretty good shape all the way around. On the phone records, I mean, $1 to $5 is, you know, can be low. You can get up in $10, $15 range I've sold records for as far as data goes. Mail, typically if you're going to sell to a mail house or somebody that brokers lists and all that kind of stuff for that industry, they're going to pay us around 25 cents, 50 cents a record. I've got as much as $1 a record for diet data before. Campaign B recap. Getting data whether you get conversions or not. So the beauty of this is no matter whether you're getting conversions or not, you're going to get data. You're going to start building your list. You're going to start, making money from that. So you can calculate all that into how much you can spend on media, right? If we can ramp up what we're making and gathering our data and all that kind of stuff, then all of a sudden we can spend more on media and everything goes up quite a bit. Email, $45, 6-month lifespan, we covered all that. Average record worth $3.50, I put $3. Times 15 records, $45, $90 with the increased CTR. SMS, we talked about that, 10 cents a record, 15 records at $1.50. Phone records, I used $1 there, I think I told you. Here's one of our pages that we've built. Very compliant, but it's not making any weight loss claims. There's nothing, like that on this page at all. We are incentivizing people to get their email address, right? Everybody understand? So if you can incentivize people to want to give you their information to get something in return, then you're going to start gathering your list. This page here, we have anywhere from 55 to 60% of people fill out this page. If you can believe that. That's a lot of records and data that isn't being captured elsewhere. So what we did on this is we sent them to here, captured that, and then we sent them to a second page, congratulations, blah, 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 tells you your BMI, and then this was a long form copy, and as you get further down, it was selling them different diet products. What resources do I need? Emailing software, I highly suggest an ESP. Trying to mail from your own domains and manage IPs and all that kind of stuff is just a big pain in the butt. Your delivery is what it's all about. You can work with somebody like iContact, I like a lot, Aweber, Bronto, I put them all in there, but I'm the biggest fan of iContact. They seem to be the easiest to work with. Also, complain the least if you get some complaints on your email list. Mailing Revshare relationships, there's a lot of emailers out there that do the IP stuff, that do deliver on their own outside of ESPs, and that's all they do, and they're very good at it. And you can Revshare your data out to them. You could do both, or you can do just the Revshare, or you can do whatever you want to do there. But what's nice about that is they send the mail out. You don't do anything. All you do is feed them the data, and they just send you money. Pretty good deal, right? SMS partners, they text message different offers, and again, it's all a rev share, and they give you money at the end of the month. Call center contacts, that's an interesting industry. If anybody's looking for call center contacts and wants to sell phone record data or anything like that, let me know. Direct mailers. These are the people that are actually sending the physical mail. They're kind of a dying breed, but they're still out there. All great things to look for at Affiliate Summit, right? What to expect? Revshare or sale? Email, call center, SMS, direct mailers. Revshare, pluses. More profit potential. If you've got great data and you're on a Revshare, then it's awesome. Because you'll get a lot more money than you would selling the records outright. More partners will work with you. A lot of emailers, a lot of call centers, they really don't want to just buy records outright because they think you're going to give them trash. So they want to do rev shares. There is people that will buy outright. We sell them all the time, but for the most part, most people are going to want to lean towards a rev share. Minuses. People that manage data can be shady. They might not pay you. They might mail stuff they don't tell you about. They might, whore your data out to somebody else. You know, all kinds of bad stuff can happen. Sale pluses, you get money up front guaranteed. I mean, I've known a lot of partners in the data business that have been known not to pay their bills, believe it or not. So if you're getting paid up front, you know you're getting money up front, but you don't have that long-term potential as far as them mailing every month and you getting a rev share on that. Minus is less partners to work with, often less money. Seeding data. If you're going to rev share with people, I would seed your data. Does everybody know what seeding is? That's where you put in a phone number, put in a email that actually goes to you. We keep, you know, 20, 30, 40 seed email accounts so we can see what is being mailed to our data. So we put those email addresses in there so we know. So then when we get our report at the end of the month that this was sent, this is your rev share, and some offer is in our inbox that's not on the list, we know, hey, what's going on? And so it's always good to seed your data. Call center, email, I don't know. I don't want to seed SMS. I don't need text messages. Some examples. I went through, just kind of went on the web and started going through some offers and looked through some paths and data collection and what they were doing. Stimulus grants. This here is just a 3-field submit offer. You know, they're gathering data on page 1. On page 2, they take you to a CoRich. So this is different kinds of leads here, but the whole point is they're gathering that email data on the first page. That's actually worth quite a bit. That data in the grants field or in the grants world. This is another one that I found on Google. Jobs Radar. They take you through a path. They gather some data here on the front. Everything on the front side is a job search, and then they take you into gathering your data here. This is almost guaranteed. Let's see. Do they have a checkbox? Yeah. See, called by education advisors. So they're doing CoRich on this deal here. They're selling this to some call floors and whatnot. You can do all this same stuff as well. Build all this in front, and then you'll see here on the bottom, this is really what it's all about. They're just running affiliate offers. That's all that is. They're just running education affiliate offers. Here they're asking questions about education, another education affiliate offer. They take you through like 20 education offers. So, but point being, you can wrap a regular offer and almost build your own offer and start gathering your own data. A lot of guys do this where we start building a actual offer and it's like, oh, it's my offer now, but it's really just a wrapper where I'm gathering data, and a lot of times other affiliates will even run it if you have people that and then you're got your own offer and you're gathering data from the stuff that they're doing as well. Classic zip submit, they're gathering your zip here, and then it goes into full address. They're monetizing all this data all the way along the path. CoRich here, more CoRich, more CoRich, and then they take you into an offer wall. And this again these are all just affiliate offers. All they've done is built some pages and stuck some affiliate offers in the middle of it. They don't own any of these deals. These are all just pulled from an affiliate network. Netflix, creditreport.com. So with that, why capture data? Because it's worth money, long-term business growth, stability, it's an asset, and will even out the peaks and valleys. So, question and answers. Do I have any questions out there? Yes, sir.
You mentioned having other people run your offers.
Mm-hmm.
Once you build and start doing data.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any tips for fraud or things like that? I guess if you don't necessarily trust the people that much.
I wouldn't let them run my offer, or I mean, there's all kinds of scrubbing services as far as that you can run with that will validate the data for you. They can do lookups, and I'm pretty sure they're all going to be here. You can walk around and talk to them. But as far as you know, affiliate fraud, I think that's a whole nother subject. Yes, sir.
What sort of SMS partners do you recommend? Do you know anybody you recommend?
Yeah, I do. There's a company called BeToMobile out of San Francisco, and they are great to work with. They've been a great partner for us. They're right off the top of my head. That's who I would probably suggest you go with to start. More questions? Yes, sir.
I have an offer, and I ran some CoRich Traffic to it.
Uh-huh.
I didn't over. Usually, I convert about, call it 7 to 10%. This I had 1,500 views on it. Is it typically that bad?
I'm not quite sure I follow what you're saying. You have an offer, and you sent CoRich Traffic to it?
Just pulled it a complete over.
Oh, yeah. No, that's normal. I mean, it's not that good of traffic. Typically, it's incentivized. Yeah, I mean.
My rep, of course, swore it wasn't.
Of course. But yeah, no, I mean, CoRich, it has its place. Incentivized stuff has its place. It all has its place, and they all are their own works of art that you've got to figure out and find out how to manage. We work with a lot of diet people, and they're like, I will not put anything on a path, incentivized wall. I don't want anything to do with anything. And then we've got other partners that are like, oh, I love that traffic. It's cheap. They cancel, yeah, but they've got their metrics and their model all worked out for them. More questions? Yes, sir.
Can you talk about the seeding email data?
Uh-huh. As far as?
What it means again?
Oh, okay. Seeding emails. So.
Is it comparing what you have to what they sent you?
No. Well, what you want to do, anytime you give somebody your data, so you're my partner, right? You're an emailer. I Revshare my email data to you. I don't know what you're mailing. You tell me what you're mailing, right? So what I do is I seed what we call seed the list with like Yahoo emails. Like we make 40 Yahoo email accounts, and then we'll go check those 40 Yahoo email accounts at the end of the month to make sure they reconcile with the report that they sent us for what they mailed and how much they made. So now in those accounts, nothing should be in there. Nobody even knows those accounts exist other than it was just added to your list. That's the only place it exists. So the only thing that offer will ever get is what's being emailed by your Revshare partner. A lot of times you'll Revshare data to somebody and they won't even email it. You got to find good partners, and typically you've got to go through multiple partners to find good ones. But you're like, hey, I'm looking at my seed accounts. I'm not getting any email. Are you emailing our stuff? What's going on? Do I need a new partner? Et cetera, et cetera. It just gives you a way to monitor your data and what's going on with it. Yes, sir.
Can you speak to, as far as when you're selling data, exclusivity? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's to keep someone from selling it to multiple companies? Is there a way to judge if that data has been burnt out by being on multiple lists?
Everything's negotiable, all case-by-case basis. Typically, a mailer doesn't want it to go to more than X amount of people because then it's not worth as much to them if the data is just getting pounded and beat to death. Again, this is a way to look, in your contracts for your data, just make sure that everything's stipulated how you want it to be. And then monitor your seed accounts to make sure you know what's going on. But I mean, it's a dirty business. Data is a dirty business, but there's a lot of money in it. Yes?
Can you speak to the privacy policy and either referencing an example or key points so that you are allowed legally to resell the data multiple times to multiple types of data?
I can refer you to my attorney. He handles it.
The website, for example, because it's easy to copy somebody else to spend a fortune on attorney fees.
Right. It's not actually, if you work with a partner that, if you work with an attorney that knows our space, they can give you a pretty much boilerplate, one for our industry, go through it and make some tweaks for your company. I honestly know nothing about privacy policy. I say, Rob Berkowitz, give me a privacy policy for this. I cut and paste and put it on the page, so.
So as long as the privacy policy is in place,
Mm-hmm.
the consumer is opting into it.
Right.
Legally, you have the right to rebroker the data.
Correct. That is correct. And, you know, that's for phone numbers, that's for, you know, there's some different rules on, you know, what call centers want to do. If you generate a phone number and you sell it to somebody, there's some stuff going on right now that they're saying that needs to be scrubbed by the do not call list because it wasn't originally started for them. But if you make if you put the brand of who you're going to sell the data to on the page, then all of a sudden they don't have to scrub against the do not call list. Does that make sense? Yeah. Any more questions? Yes.
I guess it's kind of a two-part question. I see that you say you're talking about data being a long-term asset, but you're also geared towards selling it off. Do you think it can still be, is it still a long-term asset for you if you sold it off to 3 other people and they're mailing it long-term?
Yeah, you still own it.
Still own the data? So
Yeah.
Would you ever try to mail it later and upsell it?
Yeah, sure. You know, and that's all stipulated in contracts, right? You know, you've got exclusivity on the data. You know, once it becomes legacy, I can do, you know, whatever I want, or however you negotiate it out. I mean, again, everything's on a case-by-case basis. You know, people, if it's good data, they'll bend over backwards for it. They'll do whatever they can to get their hands on it. Any more questions? Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering, I'm actually thinking of trying to monetize it the best I can myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you could walk me through whatever industry you feel most comfortable with, an upsell path. Maybe starting with like a free trial. I know it goes to like $10,000 seminars, but I'm not sure how it gets all the way there.
Okay. Sure. You know, we could talk about, you could do even a lead gen. Lead gen to call center floor. Call center floor sells a $39.95 package. That then, you know, client gets that. Maybe you throw in 3 coaching sessions. So they build some, what do I want to say, some trust with their coach. And then the coach upsells them on, you know, moving to the $2,000 seminar. They come to the seminar, they watch the seminar, and you know, that's when they enroll in the $15,000 coaching program or $30,000 coaching program. That's just one, like a typical biz op path. I was going to talk a little bit about paths. I didn't do any slides for it. Does anybody do path stuff in here, like building CoRich on the back end of offers and all that kind of stuff? Hands? Yeah. Well, you're with Rex. Of course you guys do. They're really good for doing CoRich stuff. If anybody needs partners for selling data and stuff like that, they do quite a bit of that. We work with them some. Paths are pretty cool because you can basically take whatever on the front end and then just start putting stuff behind it. But I don't have any slides, so I'm not going to get into that. So any more questions? Or I'll just finish up. All right. Thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate your time.